everybody. Thanks for coming. I'm going to chit-chat a little bit and see if we can get some more people in here. I got to thinking this morning. Hey, Audrey. Hang on, I'm going to mod you real quick because I think I got you modded on your old account. Yeah. What happened to your cafe? Because I was watching those. What happened to that? Did you get hacked? Chaotic, did you put feet on your pumpkins? John Deere's asking. That's a great idea. That's funny. Hey, Mama T. Amazing Grace. Hey, good to see you guys. You got hacked. Well, I'll be damned. I still see your stuff's up. So that's weird. You can't get into it at all? Wow. That sucks. Hey, Mama T. So, I'd seen these like little slippers that you put on, kind of like Crocs, but they look like feet. That would be a good idea, Chaotic Beauty. They're like slip-on shoes, but they look like toes. I'd seen somebody use them for their flower pots. They put them under their flower pots. It was so cute. Darn. Excuse me. I understand, Audrey. Yeah, that's funny. So there's a couple of things that I still have questions about when I'm thinking and going over in my mind. You're traumatized enough. Okay, Mama T. I'm going over in my mind certain details in the Summer Wells case. And I'd shared a couple of these shorts. I don't know if anybody's had a chance to look through them or not, but they're going to be real familiar to you if you were following the case all along. This is way early on in the very beginning stages of the case. And I see that people address these things that I'm going to share with you, but there's never an answer. And if you've heard an answer, I want you to share that with me so I can finish putting together my puzzle in my head with only 2 weeks left, today being October 13th, and he gets out on the 30th. 2 weeks away, this guy gets out. Is he going to be free to get those kids back? So let's think about this here. My husband is going to play the first soundbite, and we're going to discuss
Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other.
What are you doing wrong there, buddy?
I don't know, man.
You need me to close something out?
No.
Can you expound on that a little bit?
Should I just play it off my phone?
I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that.
They can hear you talking.
Yeah, I know.
I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances. That's what this is all about.
He's having tough technical difficulties. So give him just a second.
Can you expound on that a little bit?
I'm going to play it from my phone because
I have not heard anything about that.
You're pulling it up, so just shut yours off.
I'm trying to.
Because it's an important piece of this puzzle, guys. Do you know an answer to this?
Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances. That's what this is all about. Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances.
What do you think of that? I'm going to end quote this. Can you please stop talking to me, honey? Or I'm going to put these headphones on. Hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances. What does that mean to you guys? There's 15 of you in here. I want to hear 15 other opinions. Has Benny ever explained what that meant? I'm real curious to know if any of y'all know what that means. Tell me, Mama T. I think that's an odd statement. She said, I have been saying this a long time. Yes, they knew each other before, Audrey says. So did Mama T says they knew each other before Summer went missing. They had to have. He recently said that no, they didn't, and that his daughter, when she was interviewed by a couple of other panels actually, she was asked a couple of different times, has your dad ever been to prison? And she said no. She said, I don't think he's ever been to county. And if he was to county, he wasn't there long. He got bonded out. So okay, wait just a second. I'll come right back to you. Do you think that he wants us to think that for street cred? Or did they really know each other? And how did they know each other if Breezy thinks that he's never done time? I'm confused about this. Okay, I'm going to go back up here to these comments. Audrey says, I saw a picture of Benny in 423 in summer by a campfire. Okay, and then Linda Wilson says, the way Benny was talking, they knew one another before. I believe so too. Why would you say that?
Can you expound on that a little bit? Because I have not heard anything about that. I don't know nothing about that. I hate that we have to see each other again under these circumstances.
Why does he keep it in his intro? Because he's been asked about it several times. So why do y'all think he keeps it there? Is it a comment to throw people off? Do they really know each other? How did they know each other? Mama T said, bullshit. Yes, they did. Audrey Miller said, and Cher knows Dawn too. Is that right? Audrey Miller, the pen, both was in the pen together. Benny admitted it. I did not know that. Okay. And Mama T said, nope, there is a picture somewhere of Benny, 423 Chase, and Summer right before she went missing. So, I mean, and then he's given a non-disclosure agreement, an NDA, that anything he sees or witnesses, he's not to talk about, especially to the media. I myself personally have had to sign one of those. I've been hushed by a non-disclosure. That's all I'm going to say about that. So I do understand what it entails and what it means. And so I'm wondering, in his mind, does he think that gives him immunity? It doesn't. It doesn't give him immunity. It just means that that person that you have an agreement with won't sue you. That doesn't mean that the law won't still come get you. So with his involvement in the case, him signing the non-disclosure agreement. I'm going to come back to the comments in a minute, or my husband's going to put them up so that everybody gets their comment on screen. I may not read it, but he will put them, each one of them up. I think it might automatically do it for you. So I'm wondering why him with his, what's the word, bulldog attack mode sort of mentality. Is this sort of like the way he called himself an internet hitman? I don't think he's involved, but I think it's interesting they chose him. I wonder why him. And of course, the purpose was from my understanding, Tim Mullins, the media manager, only wanted Benny, and at one time Cam and his wife Allie, working that case. Is that true? Was that the original purpose? Was to keep everybody else at bay and only talk to two YouTube media outlets in their mind? Did they view Benny as a media outlet? Did they view Cam and Allie as a media outlet? And since when does, anybody but law enforcement get to decide that? Because of the right to free press. So I have all these questions, guys, over that one little bitty clip. What are y'all's opinions here? I'm gonna go back and read some of these comments he's not putting up for me. Audrey Miller, she was on top of the game. Okay. John Deere Girl, I think Trisha was getting very, very close. Trisha, remind me who that is. Audrey, she has the picture and a lot of other info that I haven't seen others have. Okay, they all signed that paper. Why? What did they think that was going to keep them from? Our Summer Wells group got hacked. Oh, wow. Hey, LB, thank you for coming. Hey, Cracker Jack, Alicia, and Linda, hey. Why do you think it was important that they pick and choose who works this case off YouTube? We're just, amateur sleuthers. Why, to me, with a murdered daughter, I wanted vigilantism. I welcomed it. So to go after those that were not named, that I knew had involvement through, So my mind goes to, why wouldn't they want everybody that could cover it? Why did they only want a select few? Why Benny? Why Cher? Who they knew before? Why? Wouldn't you want everybody on it? Trisha lived in Tennessee. Okay. They even wanted Ernie to sign the non-disclosure agreement. I did not know that, Audrey. Now I'm going to throw out a huge accusation, put some allegedlys up there for me, honey. Do you know what a PSYOP is? Just put one in the chat if you do know what a PSYOP is and their purpose. I'm speculating. I am conspiracy theorizing, so this may sound way out left field. But could trolls, PSYOPs, be being paid to purposely distract us from the case? And if you do think so, why? You're welcome, Cracker Jack. By the way, if you guys talk or see Sugar Pie, I want to apologize to her about a misunderstanding. I was trying to explain an analogy and was stupid about it. So I didn't put together that her husband had passed on and using her as an analogy. So I screwed up this morning and misspoke. So if you see her, please tell her I want to apologize to her. But getting back to psyops, do you guys know what a psyop is? What purpose was the non-disclosure? If it's not going to give you immunity, what is the purpose of a non-disclosure? We already saw the dirty mattress. I mean, thank you, John Deere. I appreciate that. Y'all give me some feedback here. I'm going to read something to you. A long time ago, when all this started, someone told me to look this up. Okay. Hey, Liberator. Hell yes, they could, because they hurt and sold her, in my opinion. This is what a psyop is. And this would be the reason we are being diverted every single time we try to talk about this. Okay? Every single time we try to talk about that little girl and him, we're diverted. I want us to just see if it happens today. Let's see who comes in chat and brings up something else. Okay, this is what I want to read to you guys. It's called Psychological Operation, PSYOP. Military actions designed to influence the perceptions and attitudes of individuals, groups, and foreign governments. Okay. With an election coming, wouldn't this be a great, sort of way to test the waters? How much mind control can we have in a chat? How easy it is to get in there and get people talking about, I just had fried chicken. Did you really just have fried chicken? Yeah, man, it was good. I love fried chicken. Man, my mama used to make the best fried chicken. And y'all were in there talking about the president. But now you're off talking about fried chicken. That's how easy it is to get us to stop figuring out what might be very simple. And we're talking about a man's sex life. Do you see how that happens? Every single time somebody tries to do this and talk about this. It used to be Benny and his jets is what I called them. Here they come flying in. Here's Benny and all his jets behind him, his trolls. And they would run you off. And then you turn off your live and you didn't talk about it anymore, right? That doesn't happen so much anymore. But they're still there. They'll come in and go, oh, did you see so-and-so went live? Did they now? Well, what's that got to do with summer and what we're in here talking about? Or they'll come in and go, boy, that's so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so. Can you believe so-and-so? And there we are, not talking about her. Have y'all witnessed that too? If you have you ever wondered why? Mama T, he does. He did in Roses just 2 mornings ago. But so does BDAC. Yep. I want to know why. I kind of don't think I'm kind of bored. I don't know. It's kind of a cop-out excuse, isn't it? Because it's real coincidental. It's every single time. Why doesn't he go over there and tell Benny to stop? Why doesn't he go over there and ask Benny, did you see that Ernie just went live? To me, that's psyop. That's mind control. They are trying to control the conversation and chat and divert us, running interference in a football game. Right? Okay, so why? Why? Anybody got an answer? Why? If it's a social experiment, you know why. Guess what's getting ready to happen, right? Changing of the guard. You know, there's a lot of influence with one world order, right? Okay. If they're using these cases to see if they can persuade, someone said, and I said it in one of my lives before, can you run everyone's comment up, please? Pelosi said, and I want you to really pick this apart. Perception is everything, not truth. Perception is everything. Without it, you have nothing. I picked it apart. She didn't say the truth. She said the perception, which would be of the truth, right? What was our perception was happening to Ernie? Being bullied. Bullshit. They high five afterwards. Bet me money. If I was in Vegas, my $20 on the table, if Mama T's dealing cards, mine's on. He might be a psyop too, guys. Think about it. Don't get mad at me. Don't hurt me. But he sure diverted my attention away from the Summer Wells case over dumb shit that wasn't real. That was psyop for entertainment purposes. What kind of entertainment purposes? Because I'm not entertained. I didn't see any tap dancing. Didn't hear any singing. And I'm not laughing over any belly jokes. I'm kind of pissed off that my mind went into his closet. Ugh. Instead of that man that were this man's closet. Why was that mattress not taken into evidence? Everybody saw that mattress, right? And if she was being trafficked out of that basement, why I got to be the dealer? Because you used to do it, didn't you? You know, the car dealer. I trust you with the house. But you see what I'm saying? Our attention really did get diverted, didn't it? Big time. Because we're in this man's goodie bag instead of talking about summer. And when I die, I'm going to leave this up. I'm going to leave this up so that when my little grandkids go, look, Granny was talking about psyops then. So hopefully they're not in a closet like Anne Frank. You know? Maybe if there was somebody out there throwing these out there, hell, you know, I might be throwing shit to the wall. Something's going to stick sooner or later. And we're going to figure out what happened to her. There's going to be many more cases, but I want to know what happened to her. Because this seems like a psyop operation to me. I want to hear what y'all think. $17 people in here. Y'all got to have opinions. If y'all think I'm way off base and, wow, Gypsy, you know, have you had too much cold medicine this morning? I don't know. Maybe I have. But it just seems someone that, like me, who sits back and observes before I spout out, that's what it looks like to me. Thank you, John Deere. So tell me, John Deere, why? If we are being purposely diverted to not talk about them, why? You know, it's just like yesterday. I love everybody, but I got diverted yesterday when I mentioned one man's name. It happened to me, and I got it on live. I said the man's name, Warren Jeffs, and I got diverted again. Why? Why can't I bring up the Mormon Church? Why can't I bring up FLDS and Warren Jeffs? Why are we always diverted? Let's see who comes in chat and gets us talking about something else today. Oh, it's not Warren Jeffs. He's in prison. Do you want to know? Just watch Love After Lockup. How many people still control shit locked up? He's still running his church. He's still running his little cult. And he's still fascinated with little girls. And we just did a story, my husband and I, a few weeks ago, on the guy who's kind of running the show for him in Colorado City. There was little girls in the back of a horse trailer being trafficked. I think that's all awful coincidental that they have ties to Utah, that they, you know, are sort of a, what's the word, rogue religion, being diverted so the truth is not exposed. That is exactly what's happening, y'all. It's been working too, hasn't it? How much time have we been working on them and then working on Ernie's love life? Is he a psyop too? It makes you wonder, are the big top 5? Let's think of who those 5 are in my book. Are those 5 psyops? And those 5 groups that you fall into, are we being diverted in those chats? Are we being thrown off to talk about Jody Sue? Huh? And all that's going on with her? Or are we figuring this out? You know, are we in each other's closets sleuthing each other? Hey, Rose. I mean, what do y'all think? Y'all tell me what y'all think. If y'all think that what did Alicia say? Put that comment back up there. It's long. I want to read it. Maybe we are going to soon see a lot of little children missing under our administration, and government wants us all to be afraid to talk about it. I agree. And if we're not scared, because I'm not going to be, you can put that down now so they can see me. I'm not going to be scared into not talking about anything. I tell it. If y'all have ever watched any of my lives, I tell it. I was the little brat, the baby of 5, and I was the tattletale. I tell it. Okay. So that's not going to keep me quiet. Hey, No Fear, I'm glad you're here. Hey, No Fear, I'm glad you're here. Go watch Crime Time Grime video. I will. Definitely will. Are you trying to divert my attention away from what I'm talking about, No Fear? Or is it about this case? If it's about this case, I want to hear about it. I want to know your opinion about it. Because it's coming, y'all. 2 weeks away, this man. And, you know, what if he's able to get his boys back? And we've been worried about Ernie Shell. I don't want to worry about Ernie Shell anymore, y'all. Let's leave that guy alone. And let's sweat this guy. Yeah, this guy. Let's sweat him. What's in his closet? What's in his goodie bag under his bed? I want to know. Is there child porn? Is Summer on that child porn? Where's the phone? Right? Yes, I will, Sugar Pie. I'm very sorry that we had a miscommunication today. I was totally, you know, my mind was somewhere else. I'm very sorry if I hurt you. That was not my intention. I didn't know or didn't remember that had happened. We'll talk, okay, Sugar Pie? Thank you for coming, and I'm sorry that hurt you. Of course, Candace will go running back to him because that's all she knows. She's been with him since she was, what, a teenager? Yes, Team Rose, let's focus on Dawn. Let's leave Ernie Shell alone, and let's focus on this guy. This guy is who we need to have our eyes on. And in my opinion, and I might be wrong, that church. Because eminently, in the very beginning, who was on that hill? The church, the people in the church. Why were they willing to pay a media manager to keep people away? Well, it must be a secret within the church. I'm going to tell you something that happened to me. I went and made a comment on Tim Mullen's spiel that he put up about how he was going to be the media manager. And I gave my 2 cents then about how I felt about FLDS, how much power they have because they are a nonprofit. They acquire all the members' possessions. They are, I think, don't quote me this, but definitely millions of dollars, if not $1 billion, entity. Okay, they have access to power, money. Okay, and it's possible that he didn't like it. He wanted to shut me up. I was one little old comment among thousands of comments, and he came to mine. Almost like he had it, how you tag words. If this word pops up, it was Warren Jeffs that got his attention. Why? Why did you not want me talking about Warren Jeffs? The church is very suspect. An arrest will be made. I agree. I think you've got him there, Rose. Definitely BK, N7, Rap, Share, and Cam. They were all in the beginning. Don't you dare talk about it. It's only us, only us. They were the elite 5. They were the only ones that didn't get harassed. In my opinion, I would add Share to that, Team Rose. And I wasn't sure about Ernie until here recently, and I realized just how much attention him and his, whatever you want to call his storyline, took my mind off Summer. Sometimes I wonder, was Ernie used to entertain us while we wait for this guy to get out? I mean, it's funny that his season came to an end, so to speak. It's kind of, interesting timing. I want to know the answers to some of these questions. Rap never covered Summer, but I think that he harassed Ernie as a psyop, okay? He was used in some manner, Sistina, to divert attention away. Remember, perception is everything, not the truth. Under Pelosi. Her words, not mine. Okay, I want you to play one more clip. There's several clips we're going to play. Are you going to be able to play them?
I think so. I'm going to try.
You've got a lot of screens open with that. Is that maybe why it's doing that?
No, go ahead. Tell me which one.
Okay, I want you to play. Let me think for a second. I want you to play Only a P.
Okay.
We're going to talk about each one of these clips that we've put together. Okay, go.
Wait a second.
Do I need to mute me?
I just need to make sure I play the right one.
Yes, the dirty cops, the church, the uppers. There's many involved. I agree. Just like Donna Serafina told us there would be.
Only a predator would come up here and take our daughter. This is not going to be somebody like, oh, I love you, Summer, and I just want to save you from a bad situation. 90% of the time when someone takes a little girl or whatever, boy even, it's for 90% of the time it's because they're predators. Got to be a predator.
Messenger, Mama T, if you want. He said, only a predator. Do you think he was talking about himself? only a predator. And he said, oh, it ain't somebody coming up here to save her. Well, it could have been, couldn't it? Why would you even think that someone would want to save her if you're such a great dad? Save her from what, Don? Why would you even suspect someone would try to save her? Well, that makes me think someone might have tried to save her and sent her off to the Utah camp in Colorado City. Think about it. If they know she's on a compound of church people of their liking and be indoctrinated under what they feel is, being married off young and blah, 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 he gets to reap rewards, right? Didn't he say she was worth gold? So it's a win-win for him if he sells her to the church, right? So was he trying to psyop us when he said it wasn't someone who wanted to give her a better life? What do you mean a better life? You said you were a great family and you were hardworking. Why would someone want to whisk her off? Well, that tells me they might have whisked her off because he's telling you not to look there. No, don't look there. Guess what? I'm going to look there because you just said not to. And I cannot believe a church, if you see someone coming that's going to ask about Summer, they would look you out and not talk. They would lock you out and not talk to you. Yes. Yeah, see, they did. Yeah, they weren't welcoming help, vigilantism. They weren't welcoming, other mothers or they wanted you to go away. Y'all sign all this and we're only going to tell you what we want you to know. Well, I know there's one place in American soil where you get to dictate what happens in criminal cases. Well, Colorado City, Utah, because it's religion. They have their own court. Is that not right, Team Rose? So they have, again, power, not just money. They have power, too. He would be protected, wouldn't he, if he just let her on go? And in his mind, he's putting baby Moses in a basket and sending her off, right? Because in his mind, that's not wrong. So y'all tell me what y'all think. He said Summer was worth a lot of gold, a lot of gold. So if you've ever watched Christina Randall, she's done a show on Warren Jeffs, and it gets graphic if you can stomach it. It really gives you more insight than I care to why I have these thoughts. And when I saw that mattress and a scene that she shares, that they go through this ceremony when they're married and church members participate and watch. Okay, while the child is on display on a pew, on an altar, Granny is sitting there watching. Okay, so in his mind, we all think I'm bad in y'all society. Well, over in Utah and Colorado City, I'm a hero. I got Summer. She's worth gold. So in his mind, if he could, and didn't he tell Candace he wanted to move back to Utah? And she said, hell to the no. Yeah, I like Christina Randall too. She doesn't go live much. She gets to the point, and I like that. So y'all tell me what y'all think. I'm talking about different theories. I've got one more that we're going to listen to. Yeah, Don and Candace I agree. She wanted to stay where she knew how to get her drugs, definitely. Me too, Sugar Bob, plus Russian, Polish, and Jewish. Plus Don's sisters were in Utah. Yes, he has some family ties, family connection. In his mind, he's a good boy if he sends her off there, right? If he abides by his commandments, he'll see her in the resurrection. Now play it.
I have 7 alibis. Candace ain't.
So it's just not good. Somebody has hurt her, probably sexually, maybe beat the fuck out of her, probably killed her. Let's be realistic. This ain't gonna be good. And because of all the pressure and YouTube and the TV shows and everything else, they probably wanted to get rid of the evidence and they probably killed her. If there was some
It didn't play all the way, so I'm going to play it here. I guess it didn't download, did it? Is that what's wrong?
I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to play this, okay?
Don't point your story to the TV.
somebody has hurt her, probably sexually, maybe beat the fuck out of her, probably killed her. Let's be realistic. This ain't gonna be good. And because of all the pressure and YouTube and the TV shows and everything else, they probably wanted to get rid of the evidence and they probably killed her. If there was some
That's details. That is details. I want y'all to try to remember the Watts case real quick. Do you remember, I'm not sure what the name of that is, right off the top of my head, Alicia. I'll Google it in just 1 second. Do you remember in the Watts case, they took him downtown and sequestered him, and he had not admitted it. He blamed it on Shanana first, right? And they still kept him. They still kept for hours and bottled water after bottled water, pizza, whatever. Why didn't they do that in Summer's case? I have my opinion why. Because they're protected by the church under their religion. I don't know. Is that not something that could be happening? Is this something that's going to be more tried in Colorado City? Why would a father even think that would happen to their child? That's a lot of detail. That's a lot of detail. In my opinion, when Chris Watts said, I only killed Shanana because she killed the girls. Well, that's not what happened. But they held him there and arrested him. If he said that right there, in my opinion, that is more of a hardcore confession than what Watts gave. So I'm not understanding why this guy, this one, wasn't arrested under that and made to dry out, because a junkie drying out is going to talk if they think they're going to get a hit. Right? Why weren't they made to dry out and talk? And when they asked Ronnie Lawson, are you guys going down there and questioning him? No. He said no. Okay, getting in the shower now. Yes, it's a confession. Okay, Mama T, I'll see you later at your show. Remember Don said he had been to play. Yes. Or places where kids were being hurt. Put her comment up there. All of them. Let them, roll. All of them.
I am. You're just not seeing them.
All I see is trigger warning.
I'm not up there yet.
I'm irritated today because it happened again to me yesterday, and I'm mad at myself for hurting Sugar Pie. I didn't mean to, and that it bothers me when I do that. My mind is somewhere else, and I spout off just out of frustration and anger that I let my attention get diverted once again off Summer yesterday. And, it just irritates me at myself, you know? Dawn and Candace knew all the people who hung out on that hill. So they know who has her. Let's not forget Robin. Yeah, exactly. Where are they, by the way? Oh, one more thing. If this was such a great church that they claimed to be, why was that little girl sleeping on that nasty mattress? Why weren't they there helping them clean up way before we got involved and shamed them into doing it? I know my church helped us many times. They would bring us firewood without us even asking. This is East Bend United Methodist Church, by the way, in East Bend, North Carolina, and they need congregation. So that's a shout out to them. They were a wonderful church home for me and my family. They made sure we had clothes, nice clothes. We had food. We had everything that we needed while I was going through a mental breakdown. So I appreciate that, Sugar Pie, but I still don't like hurting your feelings. I didn't mean to do that. Our emotions have been kind of on a roller coaster this week, haven't they? With things that have been going on and finding out that little boy is in a landfill. And it's a lot to take in, isn't it? Did the mother confess with Quentin yet today, guys? Do y'all know?
Get distracted from the subject.
I'm not getting distracted. That little boy is just as important as Summer. But that's kind of where my emotions are, Hey, Tom Grum, do y'all know, just real quick, do y'all know if they have arrested the mom yet to that little boy? A lot of us into this case day in and day out is too deep. She is in custody. Oh, good. Have they charged her yet, or has she confessed anything yet? The movie should be called The Cell of Summer. Oh. I saw, oh my gosh, Sistina. Yes. Oh gosh, yes. I don't, can you believe this crap is going on still? I mean, that is some archaic stuff. Jeez. Sistina brought up another cult. Yes, it was extremely disturbing. There were details about what the congregation, if that's what you want to call it, to the cult was made to do. And did you see the fishing, Sistina? The one that River Phoenix family was involved in, where the mother would be sent out to go fishing for new members. And it was literally, they were trafficking Phoenix mom. I mean, River's mom, River Phoenix mom. So that's a whole nother cult that's still alive and well today. I cannot for the life of me understand why anyone would hurt an innocent child. Money, I guess. Hey, VDAC, I guess. Some of us take these cases very, very serious. So when people are clowning around the cases, it burns me up. Same here. I have a murdered daughter. So, you go through all those emotions in your mind when, you hear every single one of them. So my, detective mind goes to, I want to figure this out. But then the mom side of me is, it's heart wrenching to stick to it. So it's easily, you're easily distracted because, you kind of need a reprieve because it hurts so bad and it's so disturbing. And it's like, sometimes I wonder, at what point in society did we become uncivilized? It's like we've gone backwards, and some of the animalistic stuff that I'm reading. I don't know if y'all follow Betty Washam, legendary lady, but she has been sharing some cases. And this morning it was one about a girl being held captive in a box for years and used as a sex slave for this couple. And she was hitchhiking. I've been watching Dahmer. It makes you realize how sick people are. And he ate his people because he didn't want to be alone. And he felt like that they would be with him always if he ate them. At what point did we go backwards and become uncivilized? I mean, because this is crazy, y'all. I mean, get a box of Krispy Kreme donuts and just have a heyday, but leave our kids alone, all right? They come glazed. Do what you got to do, but leave the children alone, I mean, there's too many other options out here. It's some cheesecake. It's got to be, chicken wing, something, pick up a different addiction. Food is a good one. Pick up food. Leave pedophilia alone. I'm not joking either, seriously, because I know that people replace one addiction for another. I've done it. I've replaced drinking with food, so eat, dudes, or chicks. I mean, even women are doing it now. I'm sure they've always done it. They just wasn't spotlighted like the men have been. But I've read some deviant stuff what women have done. And aren't they saying that Candace is an SA? Gypsy, exactly. We're devolving, exactly, into God knows what. It's the end of times, I feel. I hope it's the end of times because I can't imagine it getting, and I know that it will get worse. I know that we will be third world at some time. And I know that at some point we'll have buildings crumbling and we'll be in a closet at some point because one world order probably will win. But I watch Betty Washam every now and then. She's had some really disturbing, but it needs to get out there. I've seen people still hitchhiking, Audrey. Here we are in 2022. It's like how many movies does there have to be out there for people to quit hitchhiking? BDAC says, unfortunately, if you look back in history, it was always been going on. It just wasn't being reported. We didn't have the news outlets back then. It was word of mouth, right? And I don't think that cops were given much information like they're given now. I mean, now there's, all kinds of databases and such at the click of their fingers. I blame it all on them closing the mental asylums in the early 80s and turning them loose on the street to breed. You know what? I have often wondered, how much have we spent with them being let out than we were spending keeping them housed? We didn't save a damn thing if that was the reason. If it was a cost-effective thing, or was it a liberal thing that, we can't keep them locked up. We can't do that to them. That's inhumane. Gee, giving them a bed, food. I'm mentally ill. I appreciate being housed when I'm wigged out. I don't see that as being inhumane. Do y'all? I agree, Crime Time Grime, totally. Yes, BDAC, that is true. Alicia says, and BDAC, I think they just don't try to hide it as much anymore as they used to. You're from the UK. You probably remember Jimmy Savile. Yes, yuck. Rose says, if you see the satanic calendar, you see how they seek out animals and human beings for sacrifice. Yes, the satanic local here that killed himself Pazuzu Algared. If you've heard about him on Vice, he chewed his wrist off because it was time for him to get a feeding. He wanted to sacrifice a rabbit. And when he told the jail that he needed to be let out so that he could do this for his religion, they said no. So he ate his wrist off and killed himself. So, yeah. People who confess to murdering someone should not be getting a plea deal. I agree. I think that they throw plea deals out way too much. That is their first go-to. Let's get them through, their, what is it, an assembly line. It's an assembly line mentality. It really is. Because America is so sue happy. Our court system's jam-packed with, I got too hot a coffee at McDonald's, I'm going to sue you. Stupid crap. And I agree, the punishment should match the crime, definitely. Sis Tina, I agree with BDAC. Evil has always existed. Yeah, Cain and Abel. Yeah. If you agree in Christianity. I'm checking out your video now, Crime Time Grime. Yeah, Jimmy Savile and his best friend, the King. What do y'all think of that? Not good, huh? I wonder what all Fergie could tell us. I bet she could tell us a lot of stuff if she wasn't being kept up. I bet my hair looks terrible. I bet Fergie knows a lot of Prince Andrew. Yeah. Well, but that goes to show that it's in the family. If both brothers are that way. Without getting off talking about that, going back to Summer, when he is out, if they have not, the only word I can think of is interrogate. Have they never interrogated either of them the way that they did Chris Watts? Also, let me know what you think. Crime Time, what you did was admirable. It's hard to stand up. Says what you believe. Team Rose says, at Crime Time Grime, I will. She said, is it the one about Jimbo? Oh, the one from an hour ago, she's asking. Sis Tina says the mental institutions were horror shows. But what is better? I know. Well, were they horror shows because we were inhumane? Because that's fixable, isn't it? It doesn't have to go back to being like that. We could, I don't know, be humane and use the dollars that we say we're getting the dollars for, really own what we say, rather than, we're going to use it to make it lightning this year 50 times. Oh, here's $20 billion. They're not going to make it lightning and rain 20 times this year. I'm just throwing stupid shit out there because it just seems like they come up with crap reasons to throw billions of dollars at. We never really see it results. We just see Pelosi eating really good ice cream and saying perception is everything, not the truth. Your perception of it, right? I can't believe we have King Charles. He is a pedo. Is he really, Sugar Pie? Alicia says it seems to be something a lot of the high-ups are into. It makes you wonder why. Team Rose, yes, they have. Candace did not pass the first lie detector, so they sent her back home, drugged her up, and tried it again. I believe that. Team Rose, rumor I heard she passed all lie detectors. I read she didn't pass the first one, and that it was because she was so distraught, and they said that she could come back the next morning and try it again. And I think it was also because she had been given a Xanax for her nerves, and they say they can't really get a good accurate reading if you're on drugs. So they wanted her to come back sober. So, Alicia, tell me more about that. What do you mean? Do you want to come up on panel and explain that a little bit? Because that seems to be sort of like a reason for a psyop and the World Wide Web, our biggest main portal for communication, right? It is YouTube. It's where people go when we don't trust the news. YouTube. Of course, they're going to try to psyop us and divert us. There's the link if you want to come up and tell us more about that, because I wasn't really aware of Charles. I knew his brother was a sickadee, allegedly. But is that why Diana wanted to leave so bad? Not everyone is going to agree with you. If you get your feelings hurt easily, turn down the volume. Gypsy speaks the truth as she sees it. Who said that?
I do.
Wow.
It's your allegedly.
That's my new allegedly.
Yeah.
Okay. Allegedly is so I don't get sued.
All right, you got Alicia. I got to step out of the room for a few minutes.
Make sure she comes up okay. Hey.
Hey, beautiful Gypsy.
Hey. How are you?
I'm good.
I had heard about, his brother, but not much about Charles. I don't think I know much about him.
Well, in my opinion, he's a dweeb. But I think it's really sus that he was so close and good friends with Jimmy Savile and everything that he was involved in.
Bring everybody up to who he is for the ones that don't know.
He was, I believe, he started off as like a DJ. I mean, it's been a while since I watched all the documentaries, and of course, I'm not from that area, But so like BDAC or somebody or Sugar Pie Honey Bun might, have more information. But he seemed like, a fun rocker type dude, and it turned into like a philanthropy or something, and he always was around children, and then he would go to like children hospitals and things like that, so that way he could be alone with children. And he got busted being like this huge pedophile, and he was really close with Prince Charles at the time.
Yeah, they're best friends. And did he ever do time for that?
I don't know that he did. I mean, I can't, like I said, it's been years, probably 2015, 16, since I really watched a lot. And he just disgusted me. So if I see videos with him in it, I usually like pass over them now. It's like I got all the information I needed way back then, and then I've kind of just let him go because he just creeps me out.
Sugar Pie says, yes, 100% he is a pedo. There's a cottage in Scotland, Glencoe, where Charlie and Seville went to get up to their hobbies without prying eyes. Wow.
Yeah. I also remember watching a documentary one time, and I believe it was made by Jay Dyer, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about where the Queen would go certain places where there was children, and when she left the area, their children would be gone too.
Wow. Do you think that Diana suspected he wasn't, so great a guy?
I think that she did love him at first and wanted to make things work, but as being around him, in time, which in the spotlight, it looked like what aggravated her the most about him was his cheating,
Yeah.
But I don't remember ever seeing anything about her coming out and saying that he was doing anything to children.
Okay.
So I don't know if she was aware or wasn't, but I don't know.
BDAC, you say I do believe Andrew is, but I'm not convinced with Charles. With that being his best friend, tell me why you think the way you think. What is it they say? You are judged by the company you keep. Charles was too busy screwing around with Camilla. Maybe Camilla liked it. Like Giselle, is that her name?
How could he not know as much time as they spent with each other?
Exactly. That's like saying, I didn't know my boyfriend was on heroin. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Yes, you did.
I mean, maybe he didn't, partake in everything, but I feel like he would have known. And then if you find that out about someone, best friend or not, or close friend or not, I mean, how can you not throw them under the bus for what they're doing,
Yeah. Money, power. And, sometimes I think like when people say, well, why does that woman stay with that guy if this, that, and the other? Well, if you're addicted to drugs and they're your spoon man, that's why.
I mean, I get that he probably would have thought, oh my goodness, if this gets out, everyone's going to know we were friends and that we hung out and I'm going to go down. But it did get out and he's king today. So.
Okay, so they both had, because it was his brother that was friends with Epstein, right?
Right.
So that means they both had a best buddy that was a weirdo. So, I mean, right? What are the odds?
If, the P word is a pastime for a lot of elites, like it seems, with our government and others, then I guess being an elite, you're going to rub shoulders with those types of people, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like even there's pictures even of Trump, with Epstein and Ghislaine, and so everybody wants to say, oh, he was involved too, but then everybody will say, no, not Trump. He kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago, and he's only pictured with them because they're all elites, and he rubbed shoulders with them. So I don't know who we can point the finger at, or if it's just that when you're high up there like that, they're going to be within the mix of the people that you hang out with.
BDAC Sugar Pie says Seville owned the charities. Do you know about that?
I thought so, but I didn't want to say it because I couldn't remember if he actually owned them or not, or if he was just, giving some of his time and doing things behind closed doors. I couldn't remember, but I do remember hearing that he owned it.
Yeah. Huh. This is going to be interesting. Do you think he is going to push for New World Order?
I do, and ever since that he's become king, I've watched a lot of. There's I think it's called Into the Watchmen channel on YouTube.
Okay.
I believe that's what it's called, and he's got 3 videos on speeches that King Charles has made since he's become king.
Mm-hmm.
And he's definitely alluding to there being a one world type leader
Mm-hmm.
that puts the World Economic Forum and other types of what is it, the digital currency,
Yes.
brings everything together under him as a one world currency, just everything like the Bible says that's going to happen, that the Antichrist is going to do. He keeps saying that we need that now, that we need that unity for everybody to come together under one thing and break up all these various governments, because we can't trust
Didn't we
voting.
try that one time with the euro?
I don't
And it
know.
never caught on. You remember the euro? It was supposed to have been currency. Is that right, BDAC and Sugar Pie? A currency that was supposed to have been able to be used, however, among those European. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I I don't know that I've ever known that they've had a one world currency until they started all this digital stuff.
This was like, I think, a trial run in just Europe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And nobody wanted to use it. But the way that they have sort of ushered in everybody has to have a debit card. And now it's, now we have digital currency where it's, what is it, a Cash App and that sort of thing. And it's money that's online. It's not actually cash in hand. It's sort of bringing it in slowly, isn't it?
Right. I have the link actually in my text because I sent it to my daughter not long ago to the Watchmen video that I was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Play some of it, and I can send that to you so you can watch it.
Okay.
But it is just like, whoa, like, dude, you just stepped up and already you're talking about uniting the whole world into pretty much a one world type religion where we all just accept everybody's thing. And like the Bible says, it all sounds great, but it's not going to work, and what the agenda of it is.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you something, B-Dac. You said sugar pie. I'm not convinced with Charles, but I haven't seen evidence. Okay, we're going to use them as an analogy, okay? If you think that Charles knows that Seville was doing those things because they're best friends, and when you get to drinking, you get to talking, and everybody likes to share a good war story, right? So you don't think in all those drunken days that they hung out at the parlor together that they never discussed sexual encounters that they had and that he may have had indiscretions that Charles could have stopped.
And wasn't there like a ton of material that was found from where he lived and everything, and wasn't even hidden really?
Yeah. So
there was someone who suggested, it might have been called for an uprising, I can't remember, that what it might be is because they are so wealthy,
mm-hmm.
they've been able to have everything that they've ever wanted, and over time, how it's just human nature, I guess, that when you've been so spoiled and you can just do anything you want whenever you want, have anything you want whenever, you get bored after a while.
Mm-hmm.
And that possibly the reason why they are the way they are with children is because they've had every other kind of experience that there is, and they've got bored. So they have to go darker and darker and darker to keep their thrill.
Mm. What is her name? Rose. She said to watch the movie 355. Do y'all know about it?
Never heard of that one.
She said it would be something as far as what we're talking about right now to watch it. I just wanted to see if you had seen that, what that might be about. I don't think she's in here anymore. I'd ask her.
I'll write it down and check it out.
Yeah. BDAC said he doesn't agree that they're best friends. I can't believe you've never saw the Glencoe. Have you ever been up north? Sugar Pot, never that far. Never that far up, he said.
So does BDAC think that they were just more in the same circle then, and that's why they're photographed together so much, and there's so much about them together on Google? Because I do get it that like conspiracy type channels make something bigger out of what it really is,
Mm-hmm. Give me your opinion on how we as just laymen can stop this from happening.
We just have to keep talking about it, keep exposing it, putting it out there. I've been to a few rallies with a bunch of people with their signs and pictures with all the proof, going to, public parks,
Mm-hmm.
and just, raising awareness and people who's never have no clue that the stuff is going on will come up and take our pamphlets, look at our signs, ask questions, and then the more people that know about it, the more talk there is, and eventually they can't shut everybody up.
That's right, because I'll just start another account, and another account, another account. Like when I was stalking my ex-husband, I just bought another phone and another phone. I'm just kidding.
Now the government is getting harsher about it, canceling people's bank accounts, trying to take away their social media, blocking their IPs, things like that. They really are trying, but if it spreads like wildfire, it's a lot of work on their part to shut everybody up.
Exactly. And it's interesting how this case, I'm so glad that I got so involved in it and was able to, with the knowledge that I have from grade school, when they said, watch for this. And now it's actually happening and I see it. And I wish I was in class and I go, oh, I see it now. I see it now. Because that's what's happening now, and it's select cases that they really try to get us to stop talking about and talking about nonsense and dumb shit that doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of life, in the big picture.
Well, we saw that.
I want to know what's in his goodie bag. I want to know what he's hiding.
We saw that with Q. It started out as really just a bunch of people coming together, and it grew and grew and grew, like anonymous or something, where everybody was talking about what's going on within the elite, what's going on within the government, and they were putting stuff out there, and then got infiltrated.
Mm-hmm.
And so much fake information and false stuff and diversions were put in, and to the point where the government could say, oh, this is just a bunch of whack job conspiracy people, we've got to shut this misinformation down. But who infiltrated it to make it that way?
I think it's interesting when Rose is making perfect sense, someone calls her crazy. Or they'll say she hasn't had her meds. That gaslighting doesn't work with me. That makes you stand out more when you accuse her of that. She's sharp as a tack.
Well, like they do with Kanye.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Coolio.
Well, Coolio, that's just crazy. It was just 5 months ago he came out and did that interview and exposed the industry for what they do. And then, boom, he's dead.
Yeah. That was not a confession, just his theory. Chemistry based, in my opinion, that's a confession. Just like when the cops thought that Watt's confession, Shanana did it, was a confession. They held him long enough to tell the truth. Did they do that with Dawn? Okay, that's my point.
Well, like I said to you yesterday, I can imagine as a parent, and I know everybody feels differently, everybody thinks differently, but I just cannot imagine as a parent being able to say that my missing child probably is deceased.
Exactly.
In this.
Chemistry based. Where are you from? Huh? Where are you really from? Get out of here. You want to hear it again? You want to play it again? Okay, let's hear it again. Would you ever say this about your child if it was missing? Would you? Would you say it? Let's see. Huh.
Without emotion, without tears.
So it's just not good. Somebody has hurt her, probably sexually, maybe beat the fuck out of her, probably killed her. Let's be realistic. This ain't gonna be good. And because of all the pressure and YouTube and the TV shows and everything else, they probably wanted to get rid of the evidence, and they probably killed her.
Why is that his theory, chemistry based? Why is that his theory? Why isn't it his little girl just got lost in the woods playing with bubbles? Why did he go to, she was, quote, beat to fuck, sexually abused, and they probably had to kill her because of you people. So that sounds like narcissistic gaslighting. It's your fault, some other dude's fault. You made me do it. If you two people hadn't done this, I wouldn't have had to kill her. To me, that's pretty good detailed confession. Yep. Guess what? I would have kept him until he started jonesing for drugs. And then I said, I'll give you this little piece of crack if you tell me what happened to your daughter. Right here's your crack. And I'll let you have this crack out back because I got it out of evidence and I keep it around. So I'm going to let you take his hit as soon as you tell me what happened to your daughter. Guess what? He'd have told, but they never did that. Right?
I try to see things from other people's perspectives as well, and give, a defense of why somebody might do what they do. I would say that with Don, he has made it made people aware that he was a Q follower too.
Mm-hmm.
He has went down the rabbit hole on things before.
Mm-hmm.
So it might just be that he knows that there are these human trafficking rings. He knows what they do to children. And he might just be saying that's probably what happened to my daughter. But the fact that he says it with no emotion, like, well, it is what it is,
And then he says that he's been there. And he made such a visual, I could picture it.
Yeah.
He was talking to Ernie in one of them. I'll find the clip later. He describes the hotel. To me, that's a confession. If they had just taken him down there, given a shit, taken him down there and taken his drugs away, taking a cigarette pack away would have been enough. I've seen my husband wig the fuck out without nicotine. Can you imagine a junkie? Someone who's an alcoholic? Someone who is doing drugs round the clock 24/7. You take all that away from them and hold them in a holding pattern. That's all you do. And guess what? They start geeking, they start jonesing, they start sweating, and then they start talking.
But at one point, she also described what she would look like since she's been gone. And how
I know. Oh, her hair was down to here.
Yeah.
I saw her in a dream.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. He describes what a hotel is like. And he was like, I've been there. I've seen it. And it literally made the hair on my head stand up on my neck. The way he detailed it. I could visualize it. And I thought, that's a confession. If you can picture it, that's some detail, Yeah. He even included YouTube's interference in his plan.
Yeah, like what Jack is saying. I've thought of that before. Like, what if they temporarily sold her to somebody and expected to to get her back, and then everything blew up and all the interference stuff happened, and then they were just like keep her or get rid of her.
Yeah. There's so many things that could happen, the church involvement, her being trafficked, the church being involved in trafficking. I mean, there's just so many, did they ever find out if, is around still? Jose, did they find out if that was real or not?
I don't think there's ever been any proof that was real, but it's just everybody's kind of accepted the fact that he's gone.
Mm.
I never saw any proof. I think there was a lot of people who tried to look for
there was no obituary. Yeah, there was no article in a paper. Yeah. So, I would like to ask him more questions, I mean, if you're staying there, why was that mattress okay for you? Why was that acceptable for you? My husband and I, we go picking where people throw stuff out on the curb. So we, okay, if you smoke outside. Anyway, where they were throw stuff out on the curb. He could have curb picked her a better mattress than that.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a curb picked, all kinds of toys and things, and she didn't have any toys. It just seemed like, the mattress told it all. The mattress told it all. I totally agree.
They knew they were wrong. They knew that she was mistreated because when they went to Dr. Phil, they changed the whole room to make it look so different.
We're gonna have to end.
Okay, he's telling me I've got company, so I'm going to have to end my live here. I want to pick this back up later on this afternoon because there's some sound bites that I didn't get to play, and I want to keep this conversation going for the next 2 weeks. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And keep it on the forefront of everyone's mind, no matter what other cases come up. We've got to keep focus on Summer, you know, because he could get those boys back, you know.
Right. I agree.
And you know, he could have another child with another young woman, and you know what I mean. So I'm going to pick this back up this afternoon after my company leaves, and we'll talk then if that's okay with you guys.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you everybody for coming. I'm sorry I have to end it short. Talk to you soon.